This is not just a game for cat lovers. In fact, both my wife and I are rather mediocre on cats in general, but what we do love is a good cooperative game, and Cat Quest III delivers on that in multiple ways. Get out your best eye patch because you are about to begin your journey as a privateer with your trusty spirit companion Cappy. Your primary goal is treasure, but this ain't no ordinary treasure. You're after the North Star treasure. With a star rune in hand, magical towers around the map will point you in the direction you need to go to find it. But it won't be easy since you'll have to overcome various pirate lords along your way and constantly battle against pirates and their pirate king. This game does not in any way take itself too seriously. In fact, at times it's a little bit stupid. But if you open yourself up to reading the dialogue out loud to one another with funny accents and enjoy whatever stupid cat puns it throws at you, then it is quite a joyous time. Aside from the mostly cat pun-filled dialogue, just some of the conversations we had in the game made us chuckle. So come prepared for a lighthearted story that will bring laughs to any somewhat sane and chipper individuals playing this game. As far as we could tell, the game is entirely open world, and you can go basically anywhere from the start. We mostly spent our time following the linear sequence of events and think the game is probably best enjoyed this way, but you can do whatever you want. If you do go wandering off early in the game, you may encounter enemies that are far above your comfort level, but you could also score yourself some fantastically strong gear to equip. The game greatly rewards exploration in or out of the main sequence of events. The entirety of the map is filled with hidden treasures to find, whether that's a simple treasure chest with gold and experience points, or a brand new piece of gear to equip. These secrets can be found by simply pounding on a suspicious looking rock, walking through walls that appear to be completely solid, or completing one of the many glowing rock puzzles scattered throughout the overworld map. It is fairly easy to follow the linear story, but we found plenty of side quests and hidden treasures to keep us busy as we went along. We were constantly passing by new islands to explore, dungeons to enter, or characters to take side quests from. For an open world, there are not as many NPCs scattered throughout the map, but that also means that basically anyone you talk to will have a side quest for you. It may make the world feel a little less active for some people, but we personally enjoyed it because it took out some of that monotony of talking to characters that don't have any reason to actually talk to you. Plus, there's enough enemies scattered throughout the land that you can't really say the world feels empty. Many RPGs tend to be filled with side quests and areas that feel very similar. But as you come across new quests and islands in Cat Quest III, they each have their own thing going on, such as Love Per Island, where you'll have to retrieve stolen diaries and help the resident ghost rewrite his love story. Or you can explore Meowtalica's rock concert, or my personal favorite island, which the developers have asked me not to spoil for you. The point is, side quests were not super generic, so we never got bored of taking on new ones. We especially enjoyed returning to the main hub to collect bounties on pirates that we had defeated along our adventure. Exploration and story are great, but the lifeblood of this game comes in the combat and gear that complement it. The combat itself is not incredibly complex, but there is a lot of variety in it. Equipped at any given time, you will have a physical weapon to deal up close and personal damage, and a secondary ranged weapon that you can swap to. On top of that, you will also have your magic abilities that can either deal a large amount of damage or cast a healing or protective aura around you. Within those simple bounds, there is still a ton of variety to be had, as you will continue to gather new weapons and spells to outfit your kitty cat however you like. From heavy shields that are slow but deal massive damage, to quick cat claws that are speedy but light. You will also choose between pistols and machine guns with limited ammunition, or you could just use elemental staffs as your ranged weapons. Each piece of gear, whether it's a weapon, a piece of armor, or just a trinket, comes with its own stats that will increase one stat or another. But they will also come with an added perk, like the ability to do damage by rolling through enemies, or to sap life from damage dealt, or send out lightning strikes at the end of every combo. The entire system is simple and easy to use, yet there is a lot of complexity and variety in how you use it. On top of your standard land, travel, and combat, you also have a boat. We probably spent about a quarter of the game in this ship, mostly as a means of transport. Though fighting other ships with it was pretty fun, as you got special ammunition to deal more damage, and found upgrades to equip and increase your abilities. The game can be played solo or in co-op with a secondary cat character with the same standard moveset as player 1. One of the biggest letdowns of the co-op in this game was the ship. It's a major part of the game and you both share one boat rather than getting your own. This was not a huge problem for us as much as an inconvenience, since we mostly came to an agreement that I would steer and Carly would shoot. Of course, one of you could always hop off and fire at enemy ships from the land. When one of you dies, you have the opportunity to revive your friend by standing close to their side for a long enough period of time to bring them back to life. This is often one of the most important things to us in co-op games, as we want to play together and are always slightly frustrated when there are long periods of times in games when one of us is not playing because we died. Overall, the co-op felt really balanced. Neither of us was more important or powerful than the other, and the camera was handled really well. Before we continue, I want to say thank you to all of our membership supporters and invite you to come join and help support so that we can continue bringing videos like this to you. You can join at thecoopstop.com/support. It was a refreshing experience to play a game before release and not have any bugs to say, oh well, hopefully they fix this before launch. However, there were a couple of gameplay things we could mention. The game might be a little too easy for some. We played on easy for a while because that's how Carly likes her games, but we were feeling a little overpowered and upped the difficulty to normal or the highest difficulty available to us. But we still felt overpowered. We could of course just equip weaker gear, but it's something worth mentioning, and of course this might have happened just in co-op and not in solo play. I have no clue. I don't know why, but somehow we did not realize till almost the end of the game that all of the boat upgrades we had been collecting actually needed to be equipped and were not automatically applied. We also didn't learn that the game had a running feature until about halfway through the game when we were in a quest that required us to do so and taught us how. And lastly, there is a magic mirror hidden somewhere in the game that allows you to change the appearance of your gear without losing the stats of what you're wearing. But if this hadn't been in the developer's notes for us, we probably never would have found it. It probably took us around 10 hours or so to beat the game up to 90% completion. However, there is plenty to keep players coming back, including a new Game Plus option and multiple endings depending on what events you complete. Coming soon, they'll also be adding New Game that will allow players to play through with special modifiers that make things more challenging but reward you with powerful items. The game is filled with charm. It runs fantastically. It's no high fantasy with dragons and crazy graphics, but it's a fun little jaunt through a cute world with interesting characters, enjoyable side quests, and fun hack and slash combat that is absolutely worth its price. However, this is not the only great couch co-op game coming out this year, and this video right here is going to walk you through some of our most anticipated games so that you know what to look forward to. I can't wait to see you over there. I love you guys. Y'all are awesome.